What is up, guys? Michael here, bringing another video today. I am super excited to be having my favorite movie couple back on Chew on This for our Valentine's Day special. We mentioned it last episode when we had Kristin herself on, and it was an absolute delight. So thank you, Kristin, real quick before I continue. It was an absolute treat. We're here to talk about romance films today, but I kind of want to give you guys a little bit of a brief explanation about the content that's coming out soon, that's come out very recently. If you guys have been watching the channel recently, you've been noticing probably that it's just been Chew on This episodes, which has been super duper fun. Every single episode has been a treat to do. Getting to reacquaint myself with some friends, getting to meet new friends. It's been a delight, but these episodes have definitely come out of order because I was planning on backlogging these and making other content in between, which I have been doing, but due to special circumstance, such as Kristin starting her show, the Honeybuzz Podcast, which is super exciting. Welcome to the podcast world, Kristin.
Yay.
It is great to have you. Decided to launch that episode first, guys, right before this one, and hope you guys will please go check that out. First two episodes are great. I've never been more interested in Digimon in my life than that second episode. It was awesome.
That's the goal. That's the goal.
It was awesome. First things first, guys. How you guys doing? First of all, before we start getting into movies and whatnot.
Oh man, it's a sleepy, cold day in Colorado.
Cold, yeah.
I'm freezing here too.
So,
it is insane. The wind delayed us a little bit yesterday, and then today is just viciously cold because of all the madness that went down yesterday. So, welcome back, guys. We always have some crazy circumstance that keeps us apart, but makes us, stronger when we're together. It's good to have you back.
We're ships that pass in the night, but we meet up. We meet up eventually.
And every time we meet up, it's a delight. It's a treat. And like I said, guys, we're here to talk about romance films. I have to ask, first question, as always, what's the last movie you guys have seen before coming on the show today?
Sleepless in Seattle, right?
That's the one. Yep. I had to look at you too. I was like, did we watch one in the weird hours?
I don't want to get too in depth with it because I'm sure you guys want to talk about it when we get to talking about the romance films that we've been binging on recently. But just how about just a little bit of what are your base thoughts on that film? What do you guys think of it? It's known as a timeless classic. So let's hear
honestly
the thoughts.
Well, it kind of gives off that aura.
For sure.
It definitely does. I hadn't seen it since high school, and I really liked it in high school. And now it's cute. It's cute because it the whole time it's making fun of kind of the idea of big out there romantic movies with their big out there romantic gestures. And then it becomes the movie that gets made fun of years later. But
yeah, it was my first time watching it. It was really hyped up. I feel like everybody's like, that's the saddest love story. And it wasn't super depressing like I thought it'd be. It was super fun. Tom Hanks is cute. Honestly, the entire cast is a baby.
Oh my God, yeah.
A little adorable baby.
They're all so smooth.
They're all so smooth.
Do you watch any American Horror Story?
Oh, dude, come on.
Frances Conroy?
Season 4. Yes, of course.
She's a baby.
Really?
So smooth, yeah.
She's a baby. You don't even recognize her until she starts talking, and then it's
so weird.
It's insane.
That's
so
awesome.
Weird.
See, that was on my list. Okay, so I'm gonna say this first. There are so many movies that I wanted to see that I didn't get to see before doing this. I had to really pick and choose. I didn't want to be like, I'm not gonna watch any bad movies because there's a joy in getting to watch a couple of stinkers,
Yeah.
comparing them to the good stuff. But for the most part, it was just a lot of, retreading stuff that I wasn't exactly sure about. The last movie I saw, we talked about last episode briefly, my crazy history with this film, 500 Days of Summer. And I won't get super into it yet because I'm sure that all three of us have a lot to say about that movie. But I loved it again, so there's that.
Okay.
I honestly think that there was just a period in my life where I just stopped getting the movie. There was a period of my life where I thought I got it, and there was a period of my life where I didn't think I got it, nor did I actually get it, and it was just this murky, cloudy time in my life where I couldn't find joy in good film. And now here we are back again, loving JGL, being a little cutie pie. But guys, This is the Valentine's Day episode. We have been trying to get to know about you two and your love story for a very, very long time. And
it's been a few months now.
It has been. And what a fitting time. Honestly, all the delays led to this moment happening, which is another godsend situation.
It just made us closer. We're just better friends now. It's the better time to ask these questions.
And it just made sense. So Ash, I am going to let you take the wheel on this first question because Kristin got to talk about it last time she was on the show.
True that.
I want to know your first impression of our dear Kristin here, as well as, how did you two get to know each other? How did that love begin to form for you, my friend?
Aww. Oh my God, I'm going to get so gooey.
No.
So
do it.
Kristin and I met when we worked at Target, and the day we met, like, we have very different recollections of how that day went down.
Very I can't wait to put the side to side together and just play
honestly,
the audio.
it's just like Flipped, which we didn't watch, even though it's a great romantic movie.
I want to do that one as well. Yeah.
But I just walked in one day, and I had been working there for like a year at that point, and I worked with all dudes. And we were just like, we were finally getting like girls to work with us. It was like finally happening where girls were coming into the dairy section. And I was just like, oh yeah, this is cool. Cause I'm a lonely guy. I relate to 500 Days of Summer in the wrong way. But literally, I kid you not, I walked in, I saw Kristin. She was being taught by my friend Patrick how to like put milk in a thing, so she was probably being explained something really stupid.
Yeah.
But everything fucking froze. Like, it was just like everything froze. I was just immediately in awe. I was like, I was in love. I didn't know it yet. I would know it like an hour later, but you were just so pretty.
And
I
just,
nice. It wasn't what I was anticipating. And because no one told me anyone was even hired.
It was me.
But so the rest of the day was an awkward mess. Patrick came up to me and he was like, hey, do you want to train her? And I was like, yeah.
as you would do.
I'd love to do that. So of course the first thing I did was I didn't say a word to her for like 40 minutes.
I love that.
We were just putting frozen food away, and I didn't say a word to you for the longest time. I don't even know when. I think it was because another coworker like made us talk.
Yeah.
It was this other lady we used to work with named Jan.
Oh yeah.
And she had taken the reins of Kristin for a second.
I like Jan.
And I was fairly YouTube famous at Target. So
really? Okay.
Everyone at Target,
I believe it, man. I believe it.
Everyone at Target was like a wingman for my channel. I swear, like everyone. One of my bosses one day was just like, everybody watch the show. It's great. But
that is awesome.
But she tried to wingman me with Kristin, which I really appreciate. It didn't work at all. She was like, Ash here has a movie channel. He reviews movies. And me in all my glory, I was just like, I see movies early sometimes. Little did I know Kristin worked at an AMC, so she also saw movies early. Yeah. So I was just making an ass of myself.
I was gonna say that what teenage boy that went to those early screenings didn't try and be cool and flex that at some point in their life and fail miserably.
Yeah, the gross thing is I was 20.
I was 17. A baby.
But you were turning 18 in like 2 weeks, which is something that people who fall in love with 17-year-olds love to say.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that Ash threw it out there.
But it's fine because we didn't start dating.
I was gonna say that this tale has a long
until
break.
2 years later.
Yeah.
But the basic end of this day, I finally kind of got used to talking to Kristin. There was a point where she like got close to me in the dairy cooler, and her warmth. I hadn't hugged a girl since high school, which at this point had been like a few years ago. So like just the warmth rating. I sound like such a creep. Just the warmth rating off of you was like insane. I felt it like a full hug, and I was like, oh. But I remembered you had to be going, like your shift was ending. So I was like, is your shift over or something? And Kristin was like, yeah. And my famous line is, I was like, oh, you can go now. And
you dismissed
we remember the tone of my voice differently when I said that.
Said it's so dark. He was just like, you can go now. Just
whoa.
like looking at me.
I don't
Ashton,
I don't remember it like that. I remember saying like, oh, you can go now. And I didn't even tell you the proper way to leave.
No, you just were like, you can go.
Literally, I was the worst teacher.
Am I supposed to just walk out of here?
I was literally
Like, bye.
Kristin is the worst person I ever trained because I couldn't focus.
You didn't teach me anything.
Could not focus. But yeah, after that moment, she left and I went to lunch and I told all my friends that I was in love.
Wow. Yeah. And did you genuinely believe that in your heart at that moment?
No, I like knew it. And it was like the first time I ever knew it.
Wow.
And yeah, that's my recollection.
Wow. And how did you guys, well, I guess did you guys work at the same store until you guys began to date, or was it?
No, you worked there for like a month or two.
Yeah, that was a not fun job, and I was going to college. So I was only there for the summer.
And you were working 2 jobs.
Yeah, and I was working at the AMC.
Okay. Yes,
which I liked a lot better because movies.
I'm sure.
But yeah, then I kind of ghosted Ash because 1, I was dating somebody when we met. And 2, I was 17 going to college, and I was like, and Ash was bald. Like, don't leave that out of the story.
I used to shave my head because I was very antisocial, and I
told me this.
And I didn't like it when customers talked to me, and they talked to me less when I was bald than they did when I was
Wait, that's genuinely why you shaved your head back then.
Yeah, and he said that to me.
That's half of the reason. The other half is some famous person always did it and looked sexy. Once it was Russell Crowe. When I met you, it was because of Oscar Isaac.
Oh yes, Oscar Isaac. Yeah. What a stud.
But it was like a recent shave. And I remember being so upset about that because I remember like acknowledging the fact I look scary.
You look so intense when you're bald.
And I was like,
just that instant regret of shaving your head.
Yeah, literally. It was like that was the goal, but now I'm like, oh no. And I literally like tried my hardest to grow my hair out in the 2 months. I tried my hardest and it just did not work.
Yeah.
So how did you muster up the courage to then make a move so much further down the line?
Well, I made 2 moves.
So much happened.
Okay. Let's hear them, bud.
My first move was when you did work at Target.
Yeah.
And everyone at Target had convinced me against my anxiety and better wishes that if I didn't ask you out, I was just making the biggest mistake ever.
I know. Why?
Which in a way they were right. In another way, I had wished I was like, hey, do you want to be friends?
Yeah.
In fact, I only wish that now. But in the moment, I was very lonely and I listened to those people. So I was just like, okay. And one day I was playing a Batman Arkham Knight.
Great game.
And I mentioned this because I was such a nerd at the time that putting that game on pause to go to Target just to look at you was a big deal.
You told me.
It was a big deal because it had just come out that week.
I know, you said so.
And I went to Target. Kristin was there. I was too anxious to say anything. So I literally like walked around. I called my friend and I talked to him on the phone for like 40 minutes or something. And then I just decided I'm just leaving. This was a bad idea. I'm leaving. But then my coworker, Justina, caught me before I left and she didn't let me leave. She dragged me to Kristin.
Oh,
and I remember she told Kristin, Ash needs help finding something. which was hilarious because I knew where everything was.
I know, and I barely knew where.
I was gonna say they're gonna ask the new hire,
Yeah.
you know.
And after a lot of mumbling and moaning, and honestly, a lot of talking about, that was it. I had just won on Film Face Off, not Film Face Off, on Cineclash. And everyone was like, if you win, you need to go ask that girl out.
Oh, wow. What a time to be alive, huh?
Yeah,
and then we talked about Rambo, and then we didn't go out.
Nope.
But years later, and I thought it was funny because I watched y'all's podcast, and I saw you mentioned Kubo and the Two Strings.
Yeah, I know. I knew you'd gonna mention this.
Oh, okay. I want to hear this tie-in.
In late 2016, right? Or was it early 2017? In early 2017, I was drinking excess amounts of whiskey and watching Kubo and the Two Strings.
Okay.
And due to the emotional insanity that movie is,
big time.
I wasn't feeling so good. So I put on my creep goggles and I made a fake Instagram account called Stupid Sexy Flanders.
Yep.
Oh no.
And I I find Kristin's Instagram and I DM her, I love you. And then I pass out. And I wake up the next day and you had responded, and the fear in me.
And I want to know what was going through your head, Kristin, when you saw Super Sexy Flanders hitting up your line, you know?
Well, you did it in the middle of the night, and it was crazy because
it's always the middle of the night.
I was with my friend, and we had been out all night, and I got a message, and I was like, oh. I thought it was somebody else because I didn't recognize the Instagram. It was clearly fake because there was no post.
I think Rick from Rick and Morty was the
it was
the profile picture because
yes.
that's what an alcoholic I was at the time.
And I just was like, oh, I don't want to not respond to this cry out. What if I know this person?
Well, that was very kind of you.
In hindsight, not the safest thing to do.
Not at all. Not at all.
All I responded with was I think I sent you
you sent me a heart.
I double tapped it so it hearted it.
No, it was, I guess, yeah.
But that's what it.
But that's what I woke up to. It was a heart. And I was like.
You're like, what is happening right now?
You better believe I overanalyzed that.
And I stayed up waiting for a response. And I
wow.
Who is this?
I was in a whiskey coma.
Yeah, and then I'm not even sure what you responded with, but
yeah, it was a lot of messy Instagram DMing.
Yeah.
For a while.
We just talked on DMs for a long time.
Exactly. And then we eventually had our first date.
Yeah, first date.
Kristin says first
you guys
date.
have a different view on the first date then, yes?
Yeah.
Because it was a date,
I guess.
But I guess if you look at it technically, it wasn't planned that way.
Yeah.
But by all means and purposes, it was a date.
It was.
It was a date. We saw La La Land.
Yeah.
It was I think it was my 5th time seeing it.
Yeah.
And it was the only time I didn't cry because I was anxious. And man,
wow.
The entire tale is funny. I got there really early.
I got there really late.
I got there really early and I bought your ticket, which is why it was a date. But I didn't tell Kristin I bought her ticket.
I love this story so much.
Late,
I love this story
ran
so
up
much.
to the guy. And I was like, I need to get a ticket. And he was like, there's literally nobody in this theater. You're
Then you had texted me saying, I'm here.
I got the ticket.
And so I was running oh my God.
Oh.
And so I did not tell her that I had bought a ticket. So that ticket remained ever.
Ever. You waited for a long time.
I feel like I didn't wait a long time.
I feel like you didn't tell me that day.
Because I was going to well, I didn't tell you that day, obviously.
So that's a long time. I bought you a ticket.
You had already bought a ticket, and as soon as I saw you, Kristin's hair was here,
Super
and she
short.
had a little bob on her head. And it was like the first time again, I was frozen. I didn't know what to do. You looked at me with your face, and I remember the exact face you made.
She's so nice.
It was insane.
This is honestly so sweet.
Anxious.
Yeah. I'm like blushing for you right now. Seriously.
And like, it was, oh my God, it was like high school. It was just so.
Did we do an awkward hug? I feel like
I believe we did do an awkward
hug.
hug, which is every lonely boy's favorite thing in the world, is a girl's hug. Oh my God, it's the best thing in the world.
Oh my God.
Really fucking is. But yeah, we like saw the movie after. I remember us looking at the Beauty and the Beast cutout.
Yeah.
And like talking about how excited we were for the live action Beauty and the Beast.
I was so excited. Yeah.
I was so excited too. It was like my most anticipated movie of the year at that point or something.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
That's a story for next Valentine's Day, that screening.
That
But
fun, yeah.
Yes, please.
the real point of the matter is we saw the movie. It's a great movie, obviously. We didn't watch it, spoiler alert. That's a shock. But afterwards is the magic moment, because we walk outside, it's fairly late at night, and I'm freaking out because like I've obsessed over you for years, and you're right there, and there's this like 99% chance you just leave right now, and there's a 1% chance I say something and you don't. So I took the 1%
after I was like halfway to my car
with not enough courage. So I yelled it and I went, "Do you want to go for a walk?"
Yeah, you cracked. Your voice cracked.
Because at that AMC that we were at, that was like my second home. So I used to walk around the places behind there all the time, and there's like a trail and this like nice little pond area, and it's just really nice. So we just walked that. We walked it really late at night. It was like midnight.
Yeah.
And we just walked around and we talked, and Kiki just scared the hell out of me. And I sang you a song.
Yep.
I sang you a Frank Sinatra song and did a dance number.
Really?
While I was like sitting there in this park, and you just started dancing and singing.
Okay, yeah, Kristin, I need to hear the whole dance scenario from your perspective real quick, if you don't mind, Ash. I'd
love to hear it from your perspective. I don't think we've never discussed this, because like 2 months after I did it, I regretted doing it.
We were just walking, and you see a playground, you go
it's midnight. That's when adults are allowed to play at playgrounds.
Essentially, yeah, of
midnight.
So I'm like on the tire swing swinging, and Ash just like pops out his phone. He's like, "You know this song?" And he just like, as it starts going, he just starts going and gliding.
Wow.
And I thought it was gonna last for like 2 seconds, but he did the entire song.
Do you remember what song it was?
Which Frank Sinatra song did you sing?
It was I Get a Kick Out of You.
Yes, it was I Get a Kick Out of You. And it was kind of terrifying at first, but it was also hilarious. And you were getting really out of breath. And honestly, I was I was surprised that you kept going, because you just seemed so out of breath.
At a point, I couldn't stop. I'd committed to this terrible idea.
I'm like, you sing really well. You're a good singer.
That was the point. I was trying to impress.
I was gonna ask, were you trying to impress her in that moment, or was that just like I'm just gonna sing right now?
The only thing I've had that's impressed women is I have a good singing voice.
It's true. He sings really.
It's what I have. It's the reason I wanted to be a rock star for literal years before I decided to change.
And honestly, his dancing wasn't so bad.
Aw.
But yeah, really weird at first. And then he stopped, and I like didn't know what to say. I think I thanked you. I was like, thanks. I was laughing.
I need to say, Kristin reacted the exact way I needed her to. She was clapping. She went, woo!
I was just about to ask you, clap. Nice.
She made me feel like I didn't
want you to, you were so out of breath.
And that's the thing, you see, I hate to admit this, but this is like something I had planned in my head, because I love musicals. And at the time I had just seen La La Land.
We just seen it that night.
I had seen it like in November.
No, it's just weird.
And this was February. So like when I saw La La Land, I reawoken this dream in me where I wanted to write this Mamma Mia-esque Frank Sinatra thing where it would be like a gangster movie, but it would be a musical with Frank Sinatra songs.
Please finish that one day.
It's gonna be tight. I'm gonna cast Anya Taylor-Joy. It's gonna be great.
Absolutely. Do it.
This isn't the point. The point is I decided I needed to express myself through song. Now, what I didn't take into account was like I was drinking every single night for like a year at that point.
Yeah.
So I was really out of
You
shape.
weren't in the best shape.
So I wasn't ready to do a full-blown musical number. I told myself because Chris Farley was able to roll on a car in Tommy Boy and then keep running that I
man
could do
go.
it.
Yeah, that man could go.
But I couldn't, but I was committed and I did it. And it's like it didn't win you over the way singing Bruno Mars to you won you over.
Yeah, Bruno Mars was better.
But it was a start.
Yeah.
It was a start.
It was a good foot in the door.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the
crazy part of the night, honestly.
The crazier part of the night, which is like kind of the final magic of the night, was we were walking away. We were like
going back,
done with our walk. It was like really late. It was like almost 2 a.m. And we were walking in this park and we looked across this field and we saw these shadow things.
Wolf shadows.
Whoa.
All these shadow things.
So many shadows in the field.
And like, I kid you not, like, I don't know if you played Twilight Princess, but they looked like them.
That's insane.
They looked like them. And there were like
That's insane.
5 of them and they were big and
we probably saw coyotes.
But isn't it more fun to believe we saw shadow beasts?
Yeah.
And that the shadow beasts blessed our union.
That's true.
Because at that point, you had grabbed onto my arm.
Yeah, I was terrified.
And you held onto my arm until we got back to the cars.
You smelled nice.
Getting ahead of me. Because later that night, I did the thing I was so excited to do. And I grabbed my jacket and I was just like,
got a nice whip.
I literally
creepy
I slept with my jacket.
So creepy.
I was thrilled. It was the best night of my life.
You're really cute.
It's still the best night of my life.
Oh, that's nice.
That is so sweet. I love you guys. That's amazing.
And yeah, we didn't start dating until like a while, like
May.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, we were friends.
But it was a first date.
Yeah, it was fun.
Wow, I love that story. Every time I hear it too, I get a little more detail in it. And that song story, it was the one detail that I really needed to hear. So thank you guys.
I wanted to get vulnerable, give you something. I don't like admitting I did that. And sometimes I like to think that you forgot that happened.
I'll never forget that happened.
Because sometimes I forget that happened. I think I blocked that out.
That is a once in a lifetime moment, dude. And you capitalized on it. And I'm proud of you.
Yeah. That's what hooked me.
Yeah, who else?
I was gonna say,
what other boyfriend started the relationship with a song and dance number he wasn't prepared for physically?
and just went for it. Just went for it. I gotta ask Ash, because I asked Kristin this last episode. You said you saw it. So Kristin's here. I'm gonna give you the chance to say it to her face while we're all together right now. What's the most important thing you think you've learned from Kristin your guys' time together?
Yeah, what is
the most important thing? Oh God, like there's pressure because you said such nice things about me.
Aww.
Kristin has taught me to believe in myself. I think I've always had like this inner like belief system that's driven me, but you've given me, I'll give you this example. As much of a like shopaholic person I am, I used to be terrified of cashiers.
Oh yeah.
And really? I was terrified of cashiers when I worked at a grocery store. Like I was terrified of cashiers when I hung out with cashiers. I called it checkout anxiety. I would stay in Best Buy's 20 minutes after I'd found what I had needed because I was anxious of talking to the person. And I'm not anymore. And I know that sounds like a little thing, but like I'm not anxious in those ways in so many parts of my life now.
Yeah.
Nice.
Not to mention, like, you've just helped me discover myself. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like I've surrounded myself with like film people, but I never understood movies until I watched them with Kristin. I never understood. And that's why all of the Captain Vitus show is like minute, because I didn't understand movies at that time. And you drove me because you pushed me and you don't let me be a son of a bitch. Kristin gets really angry with me when I'm a son of a bitch. And I'm a son of a bitch all the time.
It's true.
But you drive me.
Thanks.
You drive me to do shit. Like now I don't just check out. I'm that Best Buy employee's best customer all day.
You make their day. I'm sure.
I'm nice. I bring out my Best Buy rewards cards so they don't have to type in the phone number. And I lie to them and I say, yes, I am Janet Raymer. That is my name.
You just got it. I mean, I gotta say, man, you and I have known each other for a long time. And you and I knew each other, or we first got to know each other in a dark time of your life. You know what I mean?
Yes, so, very.
So seeing the change and seeing you glow, man, you do glow when you're around Kristin. And ever since you guys have been together, it's been a great thing to see you grow together as an individual, and getting to know you, Kristin, as well has been a treat. So thank you for coming to Ash's life. Honestly, that's awesome.
Thanks, guys. Nice.
Michael's not the first person to say that too, which is also a testament to you. Like,
it's so much pressure.
Everyone knows, like, everyone knows like two different versions of me. They know me before you and Ashton. Me after you. Ash. Yes, Ashton and Ash. And yeah.
Oh, thanks.
I love you.
You guys are the best. This is just nice. all about love today, guys. I have to ask.
Great content.
I don't know how the proposal process went from you guys. That's something I haven't asked either of you. Who wants to take the leap on that one?
You have to, because you did it.
It's fair.
I guess
it's
I did.
Only fair.
So our proposal story is like not as romantic as our first date story. We were working at Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers at the time.
Love it.
A fantastic place. Honestly, a fantastic job.
Yes.
Todd Graves is a great CEO.
The best CEO.
We had internal issues that led to our leaving, but that's not the point. No. We were working there and we were working the night shifts. So we were getting off at like 3 a.m. and like that was up to us. Like, because it was up to how quick we cleaned.
We were kind of the bosses.
Yeah, because Kristin and I didn't like being at work till 3 a.m. So we like devised plans. We like recreated how people did things, and
we led that group.
We really led that group, but one night it just wasn't happening, and we were so laid out, and everyone was just so irritating.
So pissed off.
Like everyone was. They had their irritation meters up to 28,000.
They cranked them. Yeah.
And Kristin and I came home and we wept. Like we literally.
Oh no! Wow.
We just wept in each other's arms.
We were so
stressed, irritated. It was fucking 4 a.m. Like it was so late.
Crazy, yeah.
The sun was gonna come up. We were just like,
we heard the birds, and that's when we started crying.
We literally heard the birds.
Our life wasn't in a good place.
And then, honestly, like even at this point, I don't even remember what spurred this.
We were just crying, and we were just saying that we would always be together. Like this was our lowest moment. And
I guess that was it.
We were just like, I'll always be with you. Like even though we go through this, like I love you, and you make me happy to go through it. And that's when and that's when you just
I guess it all just kind of clicked, and like I told you I wanted to marry you in our first month together.
Yeah.
Because I'm classic.
Yeah.
But like literally I was in my underwear. Kristin in her pajamas. Our eyes were red as blood. Like
we smelled like chicken.
We reeked of chicken and guts
bleach.
And bleach and oh my God. And I think I took a ring you already had.
Yeah, you grabbed one of my rings.
And I hopped on the bed and I just proposed.
Yeah.
And I was like, let's do it. And then I was like, I shouldn't have done it on the bed. So we got down and I did it again. And then literally like the next day we just went to work and we were like, we're engaged.
That you guys just said that wasn't a romantic story. I mean, it's a sad story, but it is a touching and moving one. Very much so.
I guess the decision in itself. Yeah. But like, that's the thing I've learned with you. Everything I know about love, I learned in movies, just like all the women in Sleepless in Seattle. I'm with them. It's where I learned all my moves, and we'll get to that later. But I forgot what I was saying.
I don't even know.
Got caught up in the whimsy of him catching the moves from Sleepless in Seattle.
Yeah, jeez.
Yes. I only knew like love in movies. And like in our deepest, darkest moments, I've learned true love.
Me too.
You know, I've learned true companionship, what it all means. And that, yeah. Sometimes you're a little too fat to break out into that song and dance number.
But it's good that you did.
But it's good that
you did.
Yeah.
Exactly. But it's
exactly.
Good that you did. Just keep on dancing, Ash. Don't ever stop, man.
Yeah, do it.
Oh, well, I never stop now because Kristin.
Just get up and do it right
Kristin
now.
dances all the time.
Yeah, I'm a dancing bug.
When we moved in together, I learned that because she was brushing her teeth and going like this.
Sometimes you have to. I get that all the time.
Yeah. Well, I started doing it because she was so cool. She was so swanky so now it's our thing.
Now
we just walk around and we dance and everyone thinks we're weird.
See, my next question was going to be, what are you guys most excited to do together this year? But now that you're telling me you guys do this dance thing, it's like I don't even have to ask this question anymore.
Man.
But I have to now. What are you guys most excited to do together this upcoming year?
I'm pretty excited for our 1-year anniversary. My mom got us a stay at a haunted hotel in Boulder.
Fun.
So
creepy.
I'm excited
times.
to go there. I'm excited to go ghost hunt with you.
Man.
And celebrate love.
What am I excited for? That.
Oh, it's Kristin.
And,
Godzilla versus Kong.
Yeah, I'm pretty pumped for that.
And that's it.
Yeah, I feel like we don't really have anything planned.
It's like
nothing happened
because of being stuck. Yeah.
I'm excited to keep doing what we're doing and growing this year.
I'm excited to make content with you.
It's been fun.
Yeah, because this one go together we've done has been like
super fun.
Yeah, it's been the most I've enjoyed anything in a while. So
yeah, that's fun.
No, yeah, for real. Like that second episode was seriously some of the best stuff I've seen. I know the first episode was great. Do not get me wrong at all.
You're so nice.
I mean it though, seriously. But but the second episode was like a whole nother level of professionalism, great vibes in both the conversation flow, the edits, everything about it. Both of you guys did a stellar job, I have to say. I cannot wait to see what's coming next because I'm super excited. It's awesome. As a friend and as a fan, it's very cool to see.
Best person right here. Oh my gosh.
Gotta love
so
it.
Nice.
I know.
Sorry guys, I have to. I feel people probably think I just say this to every guest just because. But I mean, people I have on, I enjoy what they do, you know. So
yeah,
I gotta let them know. What else am I supposed to do? Yeah,
that's what this podcast is. It's just like us all complimenting each other for
which
like
is
the entire time.
I don't mind at all.
I don't think there's anything wrong with
going.
that. I think we could all use a little confidence.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, thanks guys for sharing a piece of your story. I mean, I'm obviously there's so much more to love.
Hey, we'll get to the sequel. We'll talk about Kong Skull Island next year.
Yes, guys. Just go through
That's a big deal. That's a big deal
as a unit.
That movie's a big deal in this relationship. It was a make or break moment.
Oh, I love Kong Skull Island. It's great.
It's so
it's
good.
Hell yeah.
an
So
underrated,
underappreciated.
underrated
So
action
underrated.
film. So
Underappreciated.
good.
Yes.
God forbid someone make a monster movie with some fucking style.
Fucking
I was
said
just
it.
gonna say that. Yes, the colors, guys.
Yes.
Jordan Vogt Roberts is a great director, and Metal Gear Solid is going to rule. That's all I'm saying.
I'm so excited for Metal Gear Solid. Another series full of romance as well. You know, they got
yes,
they got
a lot
a
of it.
lot of
Lots of
love
butts.
in there, a lot of butts, a lot of riding cartwheels, and it's all good stuff.
Nice.
But we're here to talk about movies, so we gotta know, first of all, what's your guys, both of you, your opinion on the romance genre prior to starting this how should we say, this endeavor as a unit together of going through a bunch of romance films.
Man, I think like if you like want to overanalyze it, like romance,
Let's do it.
like certain genres like drama and comedy, they're fucking ancient.
Yeah.
Like they've been around forever.
Yeah.
And I think specifically in film, like the romantic genre is one of the first big ones, you know. Some of the first blockbusters are complete romances.
Absolutely.
And I feel like we're at a point now where romance has evolved into so many different things. Like there's a lot of different ways to tell a romantic story.
Yeah.
What do you think while I burp LaCroix?
I feel like romance was like the first genre I really watched growing up. My mom loves those 80s rom-coms, like I feel like a lot of moms do.
Yep.
So I like grew up watching a ton of those. You know, girls growing up sometimes just love that rom-com.
And so do
I was
sensitive
that.
boys.
Yep, I was gonna say
I was sensitive. I was that sensitive boy who still listened to Slayer, but he was watching The Notebook when he wasn't.
But I feel like I don't know. I feel like I kind of turned on the rom-com genre when I exited high school. I was
When you got cool.
Yeah, when I got too cool for school, I was like, I don't need love.
When you dropped that loser status.
Yeah. So I've had to like work my way back in, and I feel like this last decade has had some really good romance films that you can't deny are like amazing films, and that's kind of like brought me back.
Yeah.
Movies that our kids are going to watch and be like, that's a pretty cool old people movie. And you're going to be like, that's my fucking movie.
It's my time. Yeah, seriously. It's funny because prior to starting this, I think romance was actually my least viewed genre on Letterboxd. Yeah, which is insane. I mean,
that's crazy.
It's not
I
something
should have
I
looked
ever,
up that stat.
Yeah, it's not something I ever think about or ever really look at, but I had to look before we really got into this. And I mean, there are a lot of romance, like you said, mentioned Ash. There's a lot of romance adjacent films now, more so nowadays, where we have action romance films, horror romance, and you know, so on and so forth. Whereas before we were more along the lines of rom-coms, romantic dramas. And going through this past couple weeks has been very interesting to see the change over the years in both those fields. I definitely say that I wasn't a huge romantic drama fan growing up, but I was a sucker for a good rom-com. I always loved romantic comedies, especially the ones with Matthew McConaughey. I was always a sucker for that guy growing up. He's great. I actually didn't watch any anticipation for this episode, which is insane. Other than bits and pieces of Fool's Gold, that was it. And Failure to Launch.
I feel like that's just a theme. I feel like all of us probably. Kristin and I made like an 80 movie list.
Yeah, we had high
same.
hopes.
I was trying
we
to
didn't
do
get
something
to
crazy.
a ton of it.
Yeah. Well, I want to start before we start talking about like specific movies. If you guys don't mind pulling up the Letterboxd diary, I got mine pulled up right here whenever you guys are ready. Kind of just gonna let everybody know what we saw because we're probably not gonna be able to touch on everything. So just want to give a quick overview. So my watching began on January 31st when I watched In the Mood for Love, then A Ghost Story, Beginners, Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind, or of the Spotless Mind, excuse me, Malcolm and Marie, Playing It Cool, All Good Things, My Best Friend's Girl, The Mountain Between Us, Like Crazy, Brokeback Mountain, Moulin Rouge, Bride Wars, Call Me By Your Name. I watched a part of A Silent Voice, which I'm sorry about, which we're going to talk about. I still have to hear your thoughts without spoilers for the second half of that film.
You got it, homie.
Song to Song and 500 Days of Summer. How about you guys?
You go.
Okay. We started on the 2nd of February. We went Ruby Sparks, My Best Friend's Wedding, Chico and Rita, Splash, The Lucky One, Never Been Kissed, Mamma Mia the first one, 50 Shades of Grey the first one, Mamma Mia the second one, 50 Shades the second one, 50 Shades the third one, Moulin Rouge, The Mountain Between Us, Romeo plus Juliet, That Awkward Moment, The Notebook, The Spectacular Now, A Silent Voice, The Photograph, Batman, Mask of the Phantasm.
Oh, nice.
Sleepless
I like
in
that.
Seattle. It counts.
It does.
It does.
It totally does.
It does. I kind of want to start with. Oh no, please let me hear. I want to hear. A little bit of a
That movie bleeds romance. Continue.
Absolutely. I have to ask. After seeing a lot of these movies, I want to know if any actors or actresses throughout history. It doesn't have to be in this current watch run through that we've had. The kings and queens of this genre to you guys personally. What do you guys think? Gosling for me as well.
We were going
100%.
I love Ryan Gosling.
Man, Tom Hanks is such a cutie.
Tom Hanks is a
yeah.
great
Such a
pick.
cutie.
Great pick.
Yeah, Tom Hanks is awesome.
Definitely.
Julia. Love her.
Julia.
She's
100% Julia. Oh my God, Julia. Kate Winslet. Well,
Kate
Dakota.
Winslet,
Dakota
absolutely.
Johnson.
Dakota Johnson is
yes.
my queen.
Dakota Johnson is
Fuck
awesome.
yeah.
I love her.
She's amazing.
I gotta give special love to Kate Hudson because no
Kate
matter
Hudson.
how bad the movies were that I sat through, Kate Hudson was always great in them, and in the good
Yeah.
movies, she's always great in them too. So gotta give love to Kate Hudson. Like you said, Ash, Ryan Gosling is the boy.
Ooh.
I gotta give special love to Idris though. I only watched one romance film with him in it, but I would pay any amount of money to see some more sexy Idris at any time.
Yeah.
Just someone help me.
Yes.
No
And,
disagreements here. Fam.
I gotta
Love that.
give a little shout out to Ewan McGregor because he's always been a love of mine,
Ooh.
but specifically on this run through, there's a film that we're gonna really get into.
Hey, man, yeah.
Probably two that we're gonna get into and talking about him just being a big old cutie pie. So
And on that, one Miss Nicole Kidman.
Oh yeah.
Nicole Kidman as well. Stunning in every sense of the word. Every time she's on screen, no matter how terrible the movies that she's been in.
You are goddamn right.
Yes. Where should we start, guys? Do you guys want to start with some bad stuff, some good stuff? What do you
I'd
guys feel
love to
like?
start with some bad stuff.
Let's start with
Yeah.
the bad, yo. Who wants to kick it off?
I know you want to.
I want to talk about 2012's The Lucky One.
Zac Efron,
Which
correct?
is-
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
This is the worst movie I've ever seen. And I don't mean
Whoa.
but
okay,
right now I
okay,
do.
I was like,
okay,
that.
what?
Right now I mean that. It's the worst acting I've seen so far
Wow.
in the decade-a-thon.
Yeah, I would agree.
Zac
Wow.
Efron plays the entire movie with one face, and it's
yeah,
this
doesn't
one.
do any acting in this movie.
Literally,
Hey, I walked here.
this movie says if you're depressed,
Take
take a walk, loser. Because Zac Efron,
Wow.
he has PTSD,
He
and
walked
he
that
walked
off.
all the way to Taylor Schilling, who is going crazy the entire movie. She's going crazy.
Literally going insane.
And it's just, it doesn't work because Zac Efron is doing nothing. He's a block of wood. He's the least Zac Efron you've ever seen
I
him.
know.
And he's next to Taylor Schilling, who is screaming all her lines, going crazy. Going, my brother and I, we put something.
Oh no.
Let's talk about the fact Zac Efron has no character arc in this movie. He's
Oh.
presented as perfect. He's a war hero. He's romantic, and he trains dogs.
What's not to
Yeah.
love?
And kids love
He
him.
has PTSD.
And he's the nicest guy. He's always willing to help anyone. He has no flaws. He has no
He's literally
character.
perfect.
By the time it gets to the point where it's like Taylor Schilling has to be mad at him because that's how these movies work. It makes
Sadly.
no sense why
Mhm.
she's upset. And all the while, there's this terrible other ex character who's like her ex-husband, and he's this terrible piece of shit, the biggest piece of shit. But he's the most interesting character in the movie because he's the only one with any character arc. So you literally have to hedge all your bets on the worst person in the world.
Wow.
Because
this sounds terrible.
It is.
It's really bad. It's really bad. It's one of those movies where when it was over, I literally turned to Kristin, and instead of reviewing the movie, I just said some nice things about Jack and Jill starring Adam Sandler.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because that says something.
It sometimes you give something a half star and then you see a worse half star movie and it makes you question your whole life. And
I've been there big time. Yeah.
So this movie, if we were to rate it on the love scale, I felt more hate, I would say.
Negative hearts.
Negative hearts
for that one.
The darkness, the Organization 13. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Deep Trek Kingdom Hearts joke.
I was like, I wonder how many of the people in the comments are going to catch that one. I liked it.
It's going to hit everyone, but yeah, that's my take.
Yeah. I echo that.
Krista, I was going to say that one must be on your list of the worst as well that you guys had to sit through, right?
Yeah,
I mean, did we watch something worse?
No, I don't think we gave anything else like even close to a half star.
Nothing else put us through this. It was painful to watch.
It was just, it made no sense. It was Nicholas Sparks. I was just so, I was like, what happened?
It's like, if The Notebook is Nicholas Sparks doing everything right, this is Nicholas Sparks doing the same thing but wrong.
Which is the worst. Which is hypothetically the worst thing ever. I'm glad that I was gonna watch this one. It was on HBO Max, I believe, and I skipped it. Thankfully, I dodged the bullet.
Honestly, you could watch it so I'd have someone to talk to in my therapy meetings.
You don't need to.
Oh, you're right. I don't need therapy because I can just take a walk. Because depression is curable by walking. Just walk it off.
Go play with some dogs.
Just walk it off like a good Southern boy would.
It's funny because I've seen this movie, but I don't remember much from it. But the thing that I distinctly remember is actually how far he walked was insane. I remember thinking that when I watched it. He just walks a ridiculous amount
to Louisiana
through multiple states, exactly.
And you know,
with his dog.
And he does it because he just felt like it.
No, because he needs to go see this lady, and he was like, "I need to walk and think about this."
Ponder.
For how long do you think it took him to walk?
Like he didn't even have a beard.
Hypothetically, years.
He didn't look like Tom Hanks when he was running around the world.
When he needed food or shelter, he
what?
just walked.
How did he shit?
Where did he go?
Where did he shit?
How did he
Where did he
feed his
go?
dog? How did he feed that dog?
That's another very, very good point.
Did Zac Efron have to hunt?
Yeah, he hunted with his dog.
And that would have been a good movie. That would have been a cool spin
I
on
want
Nicholas
to watch that movie instead.
The Gray meets, the lucky one.
Yes. Yes.
That would be stellar. So you guys didn't really see too many bad ones then, huh? You try to stay away from that realm.
We saw some mediocre ones, but nothing terrible besides that.
Okay, yeah. Let me touch on some bad ones before I move into the mediocre, and then we'll get to the good stuff. The worst one I saw was the one I didn't expect to be the worst one, not even close. And I actually had never heard anyone say anything about this film. Not once, not one time, but it's a movie and my original Letterboxd review for this movie was something along the lines of, this is a movie that I feel like I've seen the trailer of over 50 times, or I've seen this in the background somewhere over 100 times. It's just one of those movies. It's playing it cool, starring Chris Evans and Michelle Monaghan.
I was wondering what the hell you were talking about. Now I know.
And let me, before I give my thoughts on this film, let me kind of give you the cast. Topher Grace, Aubrey Plaza, Luke Wilson, Martin Starr, Anthony Mackie, Mr. Fantastic himself, Mr. Grufford, and Philip Baker Hall. And this movie is
a great cast.
It's a great cast. And my Letterboxd review kind of just sums up all my thoughts. So I'll give it to you guys. Likable people as some of the most unlikable characters to ever grace a rom-com. Because everyone in this movie sucks except the one character that you're not supposed to like. In every rom-com we always have the character that's the stuffy boyfriend. He's gonna propose. You're not supposed to be with that guy. You love me. that character is the only sane person in this entire film. Everyone else is a complete psycho. Chris Evans.
Gosh.
Chris Evans has serious problems. His character is just not a nice person in the slightest. And for some reason, Michelle Monaghan is immediately drawn to him. She's in a relationship that she's supposedly happy in. And she says this numerous times, but she's off gallivanting with this man through, Los Angeles at every possible turn. And it takes some stylistic choices that I hope that you guys see this movie one day, and I'm sure that you will going through the decade.
I think it's on the list. If it's not, it's going.
It's they take some stylistic choices because Chris Evans' character is a screenwriter, where there are certain segments of the film where he will imagine the film or imagine the situation in a film scenario in a certain movie, And some of the stuff that they do in this film, you would think it's from the early 2000s because, boy, it has not aged well at all. It's very racist at times, very kind of rapey at times as well.
Oh my God. What?
Super duper weird movie for these guys to be, and all charming, lovable people. So I would steer clear of it until you have to absolutely watch it. Playing it cool.
I just looked it up. This is a crazy poster. They're doing yoga.
Which is also a scene that lasts about 10 seconds in the movie.
Oh, great.
Well, from the sounds of it, it sounds like these people could use some yoga. So maybe that's why it lasts so little.
It's true. Yeah, I would not go anywhere near that film by choice ever again. So, guys, please, let's step it up slightly, get to some mediocre stuff, because I have a lot more of those. For sure.
Rock and roll.
Let's see.
You grab one.
Let's see. Okay, we watched Never Been Kissed.
Yes, for the first time.
Okay.
I had been hyped up on, a lot of people say that this is the movie that made them believe in love and all this.
Really? Wow.
Or it was like their favorite movie growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I thought it was okay. Drew Barrymore's cute.
She's very cute.
The story's okay. Just gets a little weird at a point. I don't want to give plot details away.
I think that we could talk about the one thing that makes it kind of weird, because it's a rom-com, so we kind of know, the gist of it. So I do want to talk about that a little bit, because this is a trend that is in a lot of these films.
So if you don't know the premise of the film, basically Drew Barrymore goes undercover. She's in...
It's 21 Jump Street, but...
She's a high schooler. Yeah. And basically, who's her boss?
It's John C. Reilly, who, can I say something?
Yes.
Yes, please.
So cute.
I know we already got JK back, and I know we all fought for that.
Mm-hmm.
John C. Reilly in this movie convinced me that he needs to be J. Jonah Jameson.
That's awesome. I want to rewatch this just for that reason now. That's awesome.
Continue. That's also my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah, he's the best part for sure.
He's
like, you need to have this spin to write this article. Let's spin it on your teacher. You're going to go have an affair with your teacher.
Yeah, literally.
Which along the movies, they're already flirting with each other and they're already into each other.
Yeah.
And
he's creepily into her too.
He's so creepily watching her all the time. She's reading poetry and he's just like, yeah, read that poetry.
It's like, you don't know she's 21 Jump Streeting. What are you doing?
You know that she's 17 because she keeps saying that. And there's just things that happen in this movie where she's just in these scenarios and I'm like, why? And at the end, she's just on a baseball field waiting. And I don't know, it just felt weird because everybody's just clapping for her. And I don't know, it didn't pull any heartstrings.
I feel, the thing is, I really like that baseball field idea. But I think because of the weirdness that comes in front of it, it does kind of ruin it.
They're just clapping for 5 minutes like,
yes! And it's all these characters who hated her 2 seconds.
Yeah, they're just talking shit 1 second and then they're like,
but then she in love. Plagiarized the end of The Breakfast Club and everyone liked her. And Jessica Alba is a baby and she's got yes!
I thought there were so many twists. And they didn't have any twists. I thought Jessica Alba could be undercover. I thought so many.
I know. I think there was a lot here. It's directed by Raja Gosnell of Scooby-Doo and Smurfs fame.
That was the other thing. Didn't all of that culture appropriation that happened.
Lots of tiki torches.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah, so not the best. I don't know.
It was like good.
It was fun.
It was good. Yeah. I get that. It's a movie I haven't seen in a long time, but that, 13 going on 30. There are a lot of films from this time that are just hindsight 2020. It's not should I say hindsight 2021? It hasn't aged well at all. Not okay,
No.
guys.
That's definitely a trend.
Yeah, not okay. Another extremely problematic movie, but surprisingly less so than playing it cool, was My Best Friend's Girl, starring Dane Cook.
Oh, yes.
This movie is so it really is self-indulgent, and it thinks it's the coolest movie the entire time. There's
It's kind of like Dan Cook's comedy.
And there's a scene where they play Johnny Cash in a church with a slow-mo montage of Dane Cook smoking a cigarette in all black like he's the devil. It's supposed to be awesome. It's not.
That sounds pretty awesome the way you described it, but I'll take your word for it.
It should have been, and it could have been maybe in a better film, Employee of the Month perhaps, but not this one.
Ugh,
not
the best TV
one.
movie of all time.
Yeah, see, I grew up loving Employee of the Month. I'm not gonna lie.
Because it was always on TV.
It was always on TV,
and
it was always
on TV.
Such a easy watch every single time. Seeing blonde Dax Shepard, being a little jerk, getting bullied on, it was great. But now, moving to My Best Friend's Girl, I just feel so bad for Kate Hudson in this movie, because do you guys know the premise of this film?
I feel like I've seen this movie, but I feel like I forgot it.
Okay.
I don't think I know.
So Dane Cook is basically hired by men after their girlfriends have either giant fights with them or maybe break up with them, and he is brought in basically to give these girls the worst night of their life, to make these girls go back to their boyfriends who they were planning on leaving initially.
Oh my God.
No.
I will give the movie some credit. Okay. The first 5 minutes is horrifying. It is the most problematic sequence in the entire movie, where this dude is just sexually harassing someone. It is awful.
Oh.
And throughout the course of the film, they definitely got a hold of themselves in that aspect, which I respect, considering especially this Dane Cook comedy from this era.
Yes.
They had a little bit of reserve and the ability to try and be subtle. But seeing Jason Biggs running around with Dane Cook and both of them chasing after Kate Hudson, not the best. Kate Hudson's fantastic in the movie. Alec Baldwin in a very small role.
Oh my God, really?
Hilarious in this movie.
Wow.
Oh my God.
The only moment I laughed the entire watch was a line from him.
Wow.
But one of the worst movie messages by the end of it, and one of the worst movie endings of all time by the end of it, for sure. I don't know if you guys have seen This Means War, but another romantic film that I enjoy a lot more than this one that we're talking about. Yeah. How in that film, the choice made at the end might not be, the one that every normal person might have taken, and this choice that happens in this film makes that one look like, she ended up with an angel. So My Best Friend's Girl, not the best. Not the best movie.
Oh man.
What's the next mediocre one or mid-tier rom drama or rom-com for you guys?
Let's see. Well, I guess in a way, our rewatch of The Notebook was interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What I anticipated.
Because it's The Notebook.
Yeah.
So it's like it's like the Bible.
Hall of Fame.
In a way. Yeah. It's like Hall of Fame. It's a movie I frequented quite a lot as a lonely teenager.
Same here.
A lot. Watched it all the time. So many times, in fact, that rewatching it was kind of disgusting because so many of the things Ryan Gosling does in that movie, I have tried to do, but poorly because I'm not Ryan Gosling. A lot of which I've tried to do on you. So I was just like,
I know.
It's one of those moments,
Exactly. And it's like, it's The Notebook. It's like really romantic. I cried at the end because the old people dying together is cute.
Every time.
But I feel like I've just seen so much now. Like I've seen romance done really well, and
Yeah.
I've seen the idea of romance and relationships explored very well.
Yeah.
To the point where this just kind of felt like old people shit.
I know.
Like it just felt like old people shit, and it felt like that in not just the tone of the romance, but in like very southern elements of it, the racially questionable moments of it.
Yeah.
They do not light their black people right.
No,
at all.
Oh no, I don't remember
There's
this at
a scene
all.
where an orderly comes in and she's a shadow.
Yeah, she's a ghost.
So it's like, okay, that's cool. I see that you guys
goodness.
clearly didn't care about that.
Oh.
And it's kind of gross in that way. When you get to the big part, which is the Ryan Gosling with his big beard part, that part's still awesome because it's like the core of the movie. Ryan Gosling, despite being sexier, has never looked sexier than he does with that beard in The Rain, just because he looks like I think he looks like the brawny guy. Like he looks like he come out of your paper towel and help you clean up a spill. That's a deep Simpsons reference that I think only I get, but that's okay.
Hey man, I thought it was funny. I didn't get the reference, so there you go.
The point being, like, it's good upon rewatch, but it's very interesting to see just how much better we've done than The Notebook, and how, like, I don't know, maybe The Notebook's time on top is over.
Could it be so? Yeah, I think so too.
It's 1,000 times the film The Lucky One is.
True.
It's for sure on the better end of the spectrum of Nicholas Sparks movies. I mean, from memory at least.
People act in it.
Yeah, like Ryan
and Rachel are fantastic.
Great chemistry.
Yeah,
really
great chemistry. I love everything about Ryan Gosling's face.
It's just what he says that I'm just like,
I know. It's just like, I feel like after getting to know Nicholas Sparks, getting to know the kind of person he is, it makes his idea of romance gross. And it's like, Southern boy, go back to church.
Yeah,
I'm going to the Moulin Rouge with my time.
I cannot wait till we get to talk about Moulin Rouge, by the way. It's going to be so fun because that film is something. But anyway, real quick, I want to touch on one movie before we talk about something that I know that we've all seen. That's a Ryan Gosling film that I got to watch for this experience. But I wanted to touch on very briefly. I don't think you guys have seen it yet. Malcolm and Marie, which is probably the newest movie, romance film that is on my my list of watches. So have you guys seen it? First of all, sorry about that.
We haven't seen it yet, but we literally just finished Euphoria.
Which I love Euphoria.
Obsessed. Loved it.
Do you guys watch both the
we still have the last
we
have the last special to do, but
so good.
But we just watched that and it was like the best thing I'd ever seen.
So good.
Yeah.
Zendaya is my new Leonardo DiCaprio, so I am very intrigued to watch this.
All right. I have to ask real quick before I talk about this. This is going to become a tangent now, but we're going to run it. Have you guys seen Assassination Nation before?
No.
But Chase told me to watch it 28 times.
Yeah, I also like that film a lot as well. I mean, it's one of my favorites from 2018, I want to say, is when it came out. So I was super hyped to see this movie because I had watched Euphoria prior to seeing this, obviously. And didn't like it.
Really? I've been hearing this.
Shocked.
I mean, I think that people are on one end of the spectrum or the other. And I think even when I first watched it, I ended up giving it 3 stars initially. And I didn't have to change my review much to get it to 2.5. I'll tell you that. So the acting is phenomenal, of course. John David Washington is amazing, but Zendaya really steals that movie from him.
I bet she fucking does.
She is a killer. And the movie is basically just a sum of monologues back and forth, essentially, about this one night in this couple's relationship after a tumultuous award ceremony. And I won't spoil it for you guys, but it feels very self-indulgent. To the point where some could say masturbatory. I would say that maybe.
I've heard that. Yeah.
And I think it either works for you or it doesn't. And I think in the first half of the movie, maybe if it was a short film, it would have worked a little bit more. But after a certain point of kind of just saying the same thing over and over in different rooms in different ways, it kind of gets on your nerves a little bit. You kind of get annoyed with these characters a little bit. You stop feeling for them. And this is with as you're getting to know them as well, you're slowly getting little bits of information about their past, prior to being a couple, their past prior to this one night as a couple. And there are so many things that I liked about this movie, and I wish it came together a lot better, but cannot say that I dug it. It made me really sad. Yeah, it made me really sad watching that one, Malcolm Marie. But I have to know your guys' thoughts
when we get to it.
Yeah, please do. But the film I wanted to talk about, which is one that is so strange. I don't know why more people haven't talked about this movie as maybe like a so bad it's good or just a so strange it's good film. All Good Things, starring Ryan Gosling and Kirsten Dunst. This movie is strange beyond belief, and I'm not even talking about the true story aspect of this film. Just the choices that the director took when making this project. When did you guys see this movie for the first time?
I saw this movie, I think, around when it came out for the first time.
Oh, okay, cool.
I was big on Gosling. I had been big on Dunst since Spider-Man. Didn't like it.
I've never heard of this movie.
Are you joking?
No.
I feel like I've seen your review for it.
Babe, you did this yesterday. You did this yesterday. Yes.
Oh, it's this movie too. I like that. I
keep pushing it out.
I'm sorry. We're going to talk about it again, Kristin.
No.
All Good Things.
It's very romantic.
Oh, man. No. See, I knew it wasn't going to be like a romantic after reading like the little blurb that they got on HBO, I knew it wasn't going to be exactly a simple romantic film. I knew it was going to have some darkness to it, but I did not expect
that's how I went into
this movie to be what it was.
This looks cute.
So bad.
It's full of all good things. There's no bad things.
I don't know.
Except the sum of his parts.
Yeah.
That end.
The last. Okay, can we? Let's spoil this movie because I don't think enough people have seen this to where they're gonna get offended.
It's a true story. So
first of all, it's a true story, which makes kind of how they depict this event happening a lot worse.
Very strange.
In hindsight, the first thing I kind of want to talk about, there's a scene near the beginning of this movie when I was still really invested in this film, also, where Ryan Gosling decides to get a therapist, and I don't know if you guys remember the edit to the scene where his first interaction with the therapist, but it is one of the most abrasive and shocking moments in a film and unintentionally hilarious I've seen in a long time, where he's talking to Kirsten Dunst, I believe, about, she's like, you have to do this, for us. And then instantly cuts to Ryan Gosling screaming at the top of his lungs with like a Terrence Malick, like close shot, basically, essentially under his chin a little bit, to his therapist, just screaming in a room to the point where he's out of breath and his therapist is continuing to tell him to scream. And it is hilarious. And that was when I knew what the movie was going to be. What are your guys' memories of this film?
I don't remember that because I've already, like, honestly, I remember like the scene toward the last scene with Kirsten Dunst. I remember him just being scary the whole time.
He was so creepy.
And I think they did did they do an HBO show on the same thing?
Yes. Okay. So
I believe they did.
I did a little deeper dive after I watched this film, and I watched a clip from this show that is absolutely haunting. I don't know if you guys have seen this clip.
I've heard that the show's really good. Really? I've heard
there is a clip that is so scary because they try to depict this in the movie and it's horrible, but they show him kind of talking to himself. He has some mental issues early on in the film where he's just like murmuring to himself in the film.
It's all coming back to me.
It's
like a blocked out memory.
Yeah, it's one that I can't wait to never talk about again. But
weird.
In the documentary, the guy goes in the bathroom. The supposed could we say what he did or what we thought he did or what he's done? He killed an old dude for sure. That 100% happened. It's supposed self-defense. Who knows? And his wife went missing, as well as an author who was writing a story kind of similar to his wife's disappearance, who is a friend of his, who also died, was murdered, was shot in her home, I believe.
So scary.
And it's scary and it's strange. And I think that this story does have like the potential to be handled well, a very interesting and gripping either show or film. But anyway, back to the documentary, there's a scene in it where he's in the bathroom and he doesn't know that he has his mic on still. And he's talking to himself. And one of the things he says is, "What did I do? I killed them all." It's so scary.
We were watching
We're
it.
gonna. Well, I just can't believe this is a true story because this movie.
Well, that's the thing.
This movie makes
Exactly.
it seem
Michael's hitting the nail on the head. It's the choices.
It's the choice. Yeah.
It's the choices.
Like it's
I
the
can't believe
choices
I
that come into
forgot
play.
it because the story is so insane.
Because I think that, I mean, especially the last bit of it can be extremely well told. I mean, the transition of Ryan Gosling's character in the movie is quite funny when you're watching it, but in reality it's extremely disturbing and strange, and he begins to cross-dress a little bit toward the end of the film, and even the way they handled that is very out of touch and strange, and almost played for laughs intentionally at a certain point in it too. And it's an odd film. All good things, guys. I just but I will say though, Kirsten Dunst's performance, one of the best I've seen from her. I will say that.
That's the takeaway from it. And she said that too. She said it was like the best performance she had ever done when she did it.
I believe, and I could believe that. I can believe that. I could believe that she believed that when she was doing it. At least.
Exactly. It's fine because she did Melancholia right afterwards, which is phenomenal.
Amazing film. What's the next movie you guys want to touch upon? Hopefully, we're inching slowly toward the good as we go on here, slowly but surely.
Inching slowly towards the good.
What do you want to talk about? Go ahead.
Do you want to talk about Splash?
I was just about to say, yeah.
Kristen shared a couple thoughts on Splash last time, so I got to hear yours now. Ash, what'd you think of it, man?
Oh, Splash is an interesting. My whole life, people tell me Splash is a bad movie. Splash is one of the worst things Tom Hanks, Ron Howard, filmmaking has ever created. And I liked Splash. I thought Tom Hanks was on something else in this movie.
Crazy.
Honestly, he sounds like Tom Hanks. He's acting like Tom Hanks, but he's like channeling Jerry Seinfeld, and he's just screaming, and it's hilarious.
So much.
Daryl Hannah's just walking around naked, and everyone's just like reacting to it, and it's just the weirdest. It's a very, very strange
fish
movie.
Out of water story.
It's Tom Hanks's The Shape Out of Water at the end of the day. And I genuinely just think it's really funny. I don't really have much to say about it. I think, yes, I do. Eugene Levy is hilarious.
Awesome.
John Candy.
John Candy.
Eugene Levy is a baby in this. I didn't recognize him until he started talking.
He's doing science.
Yeah, he's literally a scientist. He's under the water all the time.
That's awesome. I love Eugene.
He's hilarious. I honestly, it's like it's not the best movie ever, but if Splash is fun,
super fun.
Give yourself over to Splash.
Let it happen. Let it splash.
Yeah.
Go get wet.
It's crazy. Just make it to the end.
The end. It's literally the Shape of Water. It's literally the Shape of Water without fear in Michael Shannon. Like
guns.
Yeah.
Oof. Talk about Michael Shannon in that movie real quick though. Great. Fantastic performance. Love him in that picture.
God,
it's Shape of Water is one that I didn't get to rewatch, but that's another movie that we could.
It was on the list, that we also didn't get to rewatch. But
at the end, I for sure want to touch on some movies that didn't get to rewatch that we want to give some love to.
I'm glad we have some definite shout outs.
Absolutely. The next movie I want to talk about was one that I have had prior experience with, but not in my adult life. Only when I was a young man. A young child, perhaps I should say. Bride Wars. This movie's so fun, and I can't believe people hate this movie.
It's so
we got a big fan over here.
It's so good. I mean, for what it is. I shouldn't say it's the best movie ever or anything like that.
No.
But it is stellar for what it is, and the chemistry between Anne Hathaway and Kate Hudson. Every moment that they have on screen is almost perfect, and that I can say with confidence. Where the movie kind of falls apart is when we get more of like the supporting characters. They don't really pull off the jokes as well that these two dynamic females can. But wow, it's such a breath of fresh air in the sense that it's a PG rom-com, which is very impressive in 2009, I believe, is when it came out, and very rare, exactly, and done in a way that is still, despite a kind of generic story, very fun and entertaining, brisk, like 80 something minutes movie. It's very short. and it made me cry at the end still. I mean, it is a very, very fun, just quirky, charming movie, and I quite enjoyed it. What are you guys' thoughts on Bride Wars? Obviously, we have a huge fan here, so I'm glad that I got to see this one before coming on.
Yeah, I've seen it once on DVD with you. The only thing I really remember is Chris Pratt.
Oh, I hate him in this.
So small.
He's so
I hate him in this.
He's so Chris Pratty.
Oh,
But you're the Bride Wars expert. You go off on this.
Please
I feel
do.
like the first time I saw this, I was like, this is me and my best friend. Like this could happen to me.
Wow.
And honestly, like the story is fun. It's not like them fighting over a man. It's them literally fighting over a day. And I just think it's so touching. And the ending, it all works out like all rom-coms do. And I don't know. It's just like the best feel-good movie that's kind of not aged too poorly, I think.
Agreed. It hasn't. I don't know. When was the last time you guys got to check it out?
Like 2 years ago?
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it still holds up very, very well. More so than the majority of the movies that we've been talking about so far, for sure. It's a gem of a time that many bad rom-coms came out during. And I'm surprised. I mean, what puzzles me is that this movie has probably, out of all the movies I watched, I think this one might have the worst reviews, which is insane. It's really telling and insane where the film space was in 2009, where this is one of the worst reviewed films of that year.
Really
so
sad.
yeah, it is very sad. So let's give some more love to Bride Wars.
2009 movies. Wow.
Yeah.
For real. Yeah, I completely agree. What are some as we edge into the better movies, what are some ones you want to talk about that maybe not have the type of fervor and love that a passionate love, I should say, that perhaps a Bride Wars has for Kristin, or Kristin has for Bride Wars, I should say. What are some, 3 to 4 stars, some mid-range, good old watches that, got by, they were entertaining, they were fun?
I would say for me, Mamma Mia.
Mamma Mia.
Yeah, Mamma Mia is just a good time. You're singing ABBA, you're on a beach, you're with all your friends, and I don't know, it's like the weirdest story, but it works. And honestly, it has the best sequel. And what movie can say that? What musical can say that?
This is the thing, guys, is that Ash and I were talking a couple days back, and he was telling me
about this.
Yep.
I'm a huge Mamma Mia fan. The first film, the play, ABBA, I love it all. Even the SOS sequence in the first one is 10 out of 10 for me.
Perfect,
So
and everyone
good.
who says it's not is just
They're wrong.
not having fun.
Yeah.
They need more alcohol.
Go have fun.
Go
Yeah.
get more Chardonnay.
So when Ash told me that the sequel is actually better,
So much better.
I wanted to watch the movie so bad. I just didn't get around to it. So I kind of want to fast track to both your guys' thoughts on the sequel, if you don't mind, because I
was going to say,
very
if you're going to
curious.
bring up Mamma Mia, we should just talk about it as a franchise.
Please do. Absolutely.
Damn. Mamma Mia, the first one, is just fun. I consider Mamma Mia, the first one, my best guilty pleasure, because it's a movie that I can recognize flaws in and recognize that I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Because everyone's singing, everyone's drinking. I love how Pierce Brosnan can't sing. I think it makes his character better.
Yeah.
Colin is so cute.
Colin Firth is so adorable. I am a tremendous Stellan Skarsgård fan. And this is like
an unconventional role for him. I love it.
Yes, that's exactly the thing. And he commits to it. And I love the cheesiness and the greatness and just everything about the first Mamma Mia.
Mm-hmm.
The second Mamma Mia makes it look like a piece of shit.
It really does.
Which is insane to me, this thought.
Lily James.
I give them both the same score, and no, that's wrong, because this is Mamma Mia 2 for me is a 5-star movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say
it's it's an improvement on everything. I mean, everything is better. The cinematography,
oh my god,
specifically, like the first movie looks like Michael Bay made it.
Wow.
And this one is like
the opening.
Oh,
so cool.
The transition. Like there's amazing.
Man.
There's filmmaking at play. And I think a lot of that is due to the fact, the first one is adapting a stage musical. And this one is a sequel to a stage musical that isn't a stage musical.
I have all the songs stuck in my head.
And you said the singing.
The singing.
All the songs in this are better.
So much better.
And all the singing is better
are
too.
the songs from the first film, or do they cover
No,
different ABBA songs?
They
or?
Obviously do the Dancing Queen and the Mamma
Of
Mia
course,
because
yeah.
why aren't you? But Dancing Queen in this one is 100% more powerful.
Whoa, okay.
I'll give the first Mamma Mia this because it has my favorite Dancing Queen moment, which is the moment where that lady is holding the bundle of sticks and she throws it down just to go, oh yeah, and you're just like, that old lady's my favorite.
Yeah.
But in the second one, it's like they don't waste it. It's the climax of the movie. It's like the
So
big
good.
moment,
Wow.
and you're just
You're
crying.
crying so
It's
hard.
a huge like amalgamation
Wow.
of all these characters on screen. There's a massive cast. I watched the
Ah.
special features because I love it so much.
Hmm.
And the other songs are better, and
So much
they
better.
make more sense within the narrative. It's not like, oh, we're writing in this part so Meryl
Money,
can sing
money,
this song.
money.
The first Mamma Mia needs the money, money, money song because it's a great song.
Yep.
But in the scheme of things, it never really
Why
comes
is
back.
it there? Yeah.
But in this movie, every song means something. Like they really look deep into what ABBA fucking meant.
Oh, and you cry so hard.
You cry the whole time. You cry the whole time.
So hard.
But
Wow.
we're amiss to not mention its secret weapon, which is Lily James.
Lily James.
Lily
Phenomenal
James
and everything.
is
Really.
the best thing that happened to this franchise.
This
And
is
Wow.
her best role. In
it's
my
her.
opinion.
I agree.
Wow.
She has never been better.
She does this character in a way that even Meryl Streep couldn't.
No.
She to me she's like a god in this. She's like the god of freedom, the god of spirit. There's a scene where she's just like walking around and she's doing these like really great dance moves and it's like in slow motion and you're just like,
Oh, the horse scene too. God,
the-
you just need to see this.
I have to
Go
see this
watch
movie.
not a
it.
spoiler, but she has trouble with a horse. She runs outside to get help, and the person she finds is the star of Steven Spielberg's War Horse.
Wow.
He plays young Pierce. It's
How fitting.
Oh,
Michael, I love you, and
Go watch
I'm
this.
honestly not even disappointed in you. I'm jealous of you because you get to see it for the first
I'm
time.
so excited to watch this movie.
It's
You have no
honestly,
idea. I get some
Mm.
wine, some cheese, some crackers, and just go for it.
Yes. Yes.
And I'm surprised you guys are saying that this is a very emotional picture, which I'm excited.
Well, this
for,
is the
but-
difference. This
Yeah.
is
Yeah,
the difference. The first
exactly.
Mamma Mia is the ultimate guilty pleasure, but you can't say that about this one because it's
It's just
actually
fire.
great.
Wow.
Yeah.
it's genuinely good. It's one of my favorite musicals of all time.
Same.
Wow.
So good.
Wow.
And
Oh,
it's
man,
so
awesome.
romantic.
So romantic.
And the sequel really, the first one's romantic in that three dad kind of way, but in this one you get the real love stories and all of them are just
get to know some the team, and you get to know the past.
they're all so
Yeah.
good and they cast all the young people perfectly. It's
good.
honestly
Mhm.
they deserve an award.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
great.
It's great.
I'm doing myself a disservice, honestly, by not
Hey,
checking
man.
this out immediately.
You
So
have to go.
You can dance and you can jive.
having the time of my life, and it will be once I get to watching that film, and I have to check it out. I must. We are getting to the good stuff now.
Yes.
Once you
party.
hit Mamma
Let's
Mia
go.
range, we're hitting the good stuff.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah.
The first one I want to talk about is one that most of these I actually hadn't seen, or at least had not seen it in completion. Like Crazy. Oh my
yes.
Oh my god.
goodness. This
I can't
wow,
even.
talk about a realistic film. First of all, I want to say Anton Yelchin, I've always been a fan of his since Star Trek, but even before that with Alpha Dog. I mean, I remember seeing the trailer for Alpha Dog in my youth and not being able to see that movie, obviously, because it's rated R, but being like, oh, that guy seems like a cool guy, seems like a nice guy. And turns out, according to all accounts, he was, and it shows in this film. He's a sweetheart. I forgive me for forgetting her name. What is her name?
Felicity Jones.
Felicity Jones, and how
Who is
dare
also
I? She
phenomenal.
is stellar in this movie. Stellar, and a heartbreaking performance from them both. I know people have complaints about them saying, it's not the most realistic movie in a sense that people are making stupid choices. They're making unrealistic choices for their situation. It's like, to me, when I was watching it, I was like, this is the first movie where people are making stupid choices that I understand
Yeah.
Yeah.
in
I
a romantic
agree.
film where I mean, I'm sure that all of us have probably been in a situation where it's like, this just feels like a moment that if I lose it now, then that's it. And then that's my life and it's gone. And this movie captures that so well. The loss of that moment.
Yes.
The yearning for it, you know, and even trying to recapture with others, with each other. The way the relationship unfolds throughout this film is just heartbreaking. And I was in shambles when the movie ended. And yeah, I gotta know you guys' thoughts on it. I love this film. It's one of my new favorites for sure. Really good.
Yeah.
It's actually one of our new favorites too. We both watched it for the first time for the 2010-a-thon.
Awesome.
You hit the nail on the head. It really is a very realistic telling of a romantic story. And I think people who don't look at it that way are more so like putting themselves in the situation. Like, this is what I would have done, when in reality, like, you're right. These are characters who they're not making the best decisions, but they're decisions that you can understand from like a flawed human being's perspective.
Yeah.
But it's also just so sad.
Oh,
It makes you really mad at Jennifer Lawrence.
yeah.
It makes me mad, sad, happy for her. I wanted to hug her a lot of moments in this.
Honestly, I feel like Anton's more at fault for that whole
absolutely
situation there. He's a bit of a dick about the whole thing, but there's something to say about a movie that's not afraid to go there and is not afraid to leave you with an ending that's ultimately going to bum you out.
Yeah, not one that you wanted.
Not at all.
Life.
And not even like a La La Land one where it's like, oh, it's not the one I wanted, but there's this positivity to it, because there's not. It's doomed.
It's a doomed romance.
It's so good though. It's really good.
I mean,
you want more of those.
The last scene, the shot when they're in the shower.
It's trapped in my head.
It's just
so
going
uncomfortable
back and forth between them, and just the longing, the looks. It's so hard to watch.
It's really hard.
It's an amazing film though, and I implore everyone to please go check it out. It's on Hulu at the moment
100%.
now, I believe. So please go do so.
100%.
What's another one you guys want to give a shout out to as we start breaking the seal of the dope movies?
Breaking the seal.
I have to talk about Chico and Rita.
I was about to say Chico and Rita.
Yes. Oh my gosh. This movie took my breath away. This is an animated one.
Okay.
It's also kind of similar in the fact that these characters get separated
over a long period of time.
Because of they're from Cuba. Yeah, they're from Cuba, and one goes to New York and one gets deported back to Cuba. And it's just so well done. The music, everything about it, I don't even know how to describe it. It left me breathless. And it was so romantic.
Wow. Oh my God.
And it was so real, even though it was so animated. Like, I don't know how else to describe it, but it just, if this was live action, I don't know if it would have been as good.
I agree 100%. It's probably one of the most beautiful love stories I've ever seen told through animation.
So good. Yes.
It's very stylized. The way they animate Cuba and New York is like gorgeous.
The music and the
you
way
really
got to
go to the music.
It's animation.
It's like all about the music, really, because it's about a piano player and a singer, and they fall in love with each other through their music, but they're also like artists, so they're just these dramatic personalities that clash all the time, and things just always seem to pop wrong at the last second of this intense romantic moment.
So intense.
It's beautiful. I like sobbed.
In the ending, just sobbing because it's told non-linear, so you're just wondering what happens.
That's the worst with these kind of movies. Yeah.
You think something's happened.
Yeah.
And then by the time you get to the end, you're just taken away. It's I'm gonna cry. It's so good. Beautifully good, and it's free to watch.
If you have a library card, go on hoopla.com
and go watch it.
go get your local online library card, watch Chico, or just buy it.
Just buy it.
I'm going to buy it.
When did this film come out,
Incredible.
guys? I'm
2011.
Yeah,
Okay.
2011.
2011.
And it was
Gotcha.
nominated for the animated Oscar.
It's
Wow.
so well done.
All right,
It's-
I have to check this one
It's
out.
honestly beautiful.
Super sexy. Love
There's boobs
So many
Oh,
animated
okay, cool.
boobs.
and bush.
And Bush.
You get
So
bush.
they go for it all.
Really
The-
go
it's-
for it.
Like, yeah. It's got such a spirit. I can't recommend it enough.
Yeah,
I want to watch
was
it
a
again
surprise,
now. Like
yeah.
it was a surprise because we had held it off for like a really long time at this
Mhm.
point, and
Beautiful.
beautiful
I love
stuff.
that, and it's good to hear because I didn't get the chance to watch any animated films for this journey that we're going on with the romance films. But I'm glad to hear that the animation genre is not devoid of romantic tales to be told. Not at all.
Not even a
Oh,
little,
no, yeah.
Not at
actually.
all. Yeah. Before we get into the best of the best, because we are on the brink now. All the ones I have left are 4.5 and above, I believe.
Mhm.
I want to take a quick break, use the restroom a little bit. We might do a split episode because we always, when we have this team together, we always go a little bit long, and I
We
love
never
it.
don't.
It's a treat. So we might save that for a part 2. I don't know how I'm gonna split them up yet, but for sure we're gonna take a quick little break here, guys. Give us 1 second.